everybody who thinks 90s football thinks of Parma, and in their 1994-95 season, they had one of their greatest ever seasons. Unfortunately, losing in the final of the Coppa Italia to Juventus, a high-placed finish of third in Serie A, never actually winning the Serie A at any point during their, 100-plus year history. However, more importantly, they did get their Coppa Italia revenge, beating Juventus over 2 legs to win the UEFA Cup. And in today's video, we're going to look at Scala's 3-5-2 formation, the inclusion of Gianfranco Zola, Faustino Asprilla as a very fluid front two, how we can get that working, and one of my favourite players during this period, Dino Baggio. Central midfielder on attack. I think he scored 12 goals in Serie A from central midfield. Loads of forward runs, so we need to get that working in the game. The database that we're using today as well is the Mad Scientist. I've done a video on that covering how to get everything in the game so you can relive this magical period during the mid-90s, and Serie A was the place to be.
Campionato di calcio italiano.
Okay, so here it is, the Parma 95. Now, Patreons, as always, the tactic will be available for you. Link down in the description. Everyone else, don't worry. During this video, I will go through all the player and team instructions so you can copy it into your own FN24. You save yourself, but the Patreon is there if you want to support the channel and just get them as a direct download. You can drop straight in to your FM folder. So this is the 3-5-2. It's been doing a little bit of quite a lot of work, to be honest. A lot of tweaking, but we finally got something that I'm happy with. We've had rotations in positions here, what we'll talk about. We've had rotations in position, having like a defensive midfielder and just not being as attacking. Not as attacking, but yeah, attacking would be a good way to say it. And just having this midfielder just moving up one has just helped us win the ball a little bit higher at the pitch. So what we're trying to create, the 3 at the backs was slightly different to what they were, what we're kind of seeing now with these wide centre-backs. However, they were both aggressive. So normally you would have a little bit more of a, not a libero. We didn't have anyone that really came into midfield. The middleman would generally be a cover option. So that's why we've got that on, with the 2 wide centre-backs being more aggressive, often man-marking in sort of like, 4-4-2s, 3-5-2s, would often be aggressive. The 2 wingers or wing-backs would generally be full-backs. We haven't got them on absolute, modern-day wing-back kind of instructions or inverted or anything like that. They got involved in attacking in play. It was very much waiting for them to get the overlaps in, then deliveries into the box. The middle 3 was quite varied. Sensini I've got in there at the moment, but he would often play in defence. They've also got a young Stefano Fiore, Gabriel Pin as well, played a variety of games. They've also got at points Thomas Brolin, who generally played more as a forward, but could do one of the midfield roles if needed, alongside a Massimo Crippa, 29 years old, absolutely in his prime, and the wonderful Dino Baggio, who they'd signed from Juventus in the summer. Look at his attributes. Absolutely, if you're in this database, you need to sign this dude. Central midfield on attack. He's absolutely fine. Remember, we want to try and recreate those 12 league goals that he scored in Serie A, and including big goals in the UEFA Cup run. I think in both legs of the final in a 2-1 aggregate win over Juve. And then, of course, the front 2. We've got Zola, who was in his absolute prime before he made the move to Chelsea. Scored something like 28 Serie A goals during this season. So, yes, he's maybe more of a creator, but we need to get that goal-scoring numbers from him. And then the absolute, I don't know, down in the comments, a word to describe Faustino Asprilla. That would be lovely. Insert it right now, the best one down in the comments. That would be great. But he was, and I've gone for it. We've gone with a trequartista. It's quite hard because he was roaming. He often dropped in. He moved out wide. He had that kind of trequartista glide to him at times when he had his foot on the ball. So we're going to try and recreate that. And obviously the issue that I thought of at the start of the season would be those 2 roles. An F9 and a trequartista together. Does that work in FM? And the answer is absolutely. We don't need to worry about that. So I think one of the main worries that we would have with these front 2 is, obviously we know they both would like to come in at times and play. But as you can see, if we just highlight them here, Zola and Faustino Asprilla. Faustino Asprilla ends up being the assist for Zola. So you can see they stay quite high now. Faustino Spria has dropped into a lovely space. I just love it when they do this in the game. There's that natural thing of a striker just coming off the defender and finding a little bit of space. Because of the instruction we've got overlap on, we wait for that overlapping run. He's on his bike now, look, and then we release. It was a poor pass, but we release it at the right time. And then he's gone from being a creator and a progressor for Steven Spear to be on the last line of defence. A forward run, putting the channel. Obviously, he's got the speed. And then Zola, once again, staying high, coming in. I think because the ball is on the opposite side of the pitch, the play develops down this right side. Because of the role of Dino Baggio as well, because he's on central midfield on attack, there's no real need for Zola to drop into this area here. He's more than better just staying on that high line. And we'll watch it through without pausing this time. So Dino Baggio, Faustino Spria finding that wonderful little bit of space. Just that little movement I absolutely love. And then the overlapping run, a little passing behind to Aspria, and then a square across. Zola scored so many goals during the 6-yard box. Now, inside the 6-yard box. Now, highlights have been quite tricky. I've watched as much as I can on YouTube to try and get a little bit of a feel. In particular, there is a terrible VHS sort of like highlights reel of the UEFA Cup. If you type Parma UEFA Cup 95 in, you get all their goals. And I've tried to put the tactic based around what I've seen and just a couple of things that I've managed to read. There's not much in depth about this side, which is a shame because what a wonderful team it was. And then once again, Faustino Spria on the score sheet, we get a little bit of luck, but as you can see, they're both occupying. Brolin's now on as the central midfielder on attack. There's Zola in there and there's Faustino Spria. They're both occupying defenders when they need to. So it's as if, look, Zola has then dropped off into a little bit of space. Faustino Spria pretty much acting as a poacher. So it's interesting. I worried that these two would maybe combine, yes, but would they get into these really attacking areas? Would we be just having a lot of possession without any penetration? And that definitely isn't the case. And once again, Brolin now on that central midfield on attack. Zola look, he's dropped off a little bit, but look at Faustino Spria wanting that forward run. He is right in there, acting as a poacher. Little square across, and there's Zola is to tap home. Happens so often during that season. So with the Trequartista and the F9, Zola and Espria, you may need that attacking run. So we're going to see Ben Arrivo here. He's nicking the ball. Where is he? There is Dino Baggio. So Zola's come right in. Look, so there's our front three, if you want to call it. Dino Baggio gets on the score sheet. Look at his forward run. I think at times as well, they like to roam. They like the ball to feet in terms of the Trequartista and the F9. So having that central midfielder on attack is absolutely vital. He gets in behind. Dino Baggio scored so many goals like this during the season, getting in behind these late runs, these counter-attacking runs as well, into Zola, a little combination between the two strikers, and then can we release the sort of like the raw power of Dino Baggio? That was enough for us to pick up a deserved 1-0 win. So we'd started the season pretty well, a 5-2, a 1-0. We then had a 1-1 at Cagliari. I won't show you the goal because it was a free kick, deflected, but we we deserved it in terms of possession. We didn't create as much as we would have liked, maybe because we lost Faustino at Spria at half time. But then we've responded really well, beating. I think it's a thing of the database. The amount of attacking quality, I'm seeing so many goals scored compared to what I'd have expected normally during an FM save. And I don't think it's down to the tactic. I do think it's just with the attributes of maybe the attacking players on the other team. And then this one is my favourite goal of the season that we've managed to do. Dino Baggio on the score sheet. Similar to a goal I think they scored against Juventus in the second leg. Had rims of kind of little sequences, little patterns like this. The combination of Zola and Esprit. It would have been nice if Dino Baggio would have hit that. He eventually just get the ball back and scores, but we'll just bring it back and show you the bits that I loved. Obviously, the combination between the two was brilliant. If we just play it on. So into the fullback. Playing out. We're not really playing out for the back. It's quite basic. Remember, we've got a central midfielder on attack, a ball winner, and a box-to-box. So there's not much creativity in there. So we're relying on getting that ball into Zola. Zola comes off lovely, and then brings out the DM. Lovely combination. And then that third man run with Dino Baggio in behind. Like, he should have finished it himself here. He obviously held it up and then he got it back in a wonderful finish. But I absolutely love that goal. And this one at bad either. Just watch the little movement of the little magician, Zola. So Dino Baggio here is going to be a major part of the goal alongside Faustino Spria. So it's these three again. Aspria, Zola and Baggio. Just watch the little swap between positions. So Baggio's now going to try and take that midfielder away, look. And then it just creates a little bit of space for Zola to get in. He then finds Dino Baggio. Oh, well, he nearly did. We get a little bit of luck, but the idea was there, and that beautiful movement of the central midfielder going past Zola, Zola dropping in. Absolutely love it. And once again, Trequartista as well. He's acting pretty much like a poacher. They do get high up. He maybe doesn't drift in a lot. It's maybe the F9 when the ball is on either side, depending on which side of the pitch is on. If it's on the left-hand side, which is the F9 side, you'll see the F9s come in. If it's on the left-hand side, then the Trequartista will stay high and act pretty much as an advanced forward or a poacher. So with all that, this is what we've put together. Now, Bucci, goalkeeper. Now, you could put him, no problem, as a sweeper keeper on defender support. He did because of that numerical advantage they had, they not so much playing out of defence. No, there wasn't, intricate patterns that you see nowadays. However, they did like to play short at times. So if you wanted to tweak that and change that, you could. The two defenders, I've gone just central defenders on stopper. I want them to be super aggressive. You could also as well, if you're playing up against the front two, I would definitely get them. If you go into their player instructions, I would get them to who we're playing next. Or we're playing Fiorentina. I would get them to man mark the two strikers as well and leave the middle defender free. Middle defender, that central defender on a cover, not a libero. We don't want him coming in and acting like a number 6. We don't want that. The two wing-backs, very basic wing-backs on support. So they were very much full-backs. They don't start in a high position. It's very much get the ball into the front guys and Dino Baggio and then allow them fullbacks to get round in time. So that's why we've got a couple of changes, obviously, in the team instructions, So wing-backs on support. Cripper, this could be a mismatch of whatever you wanted. If you wanted to go with a DLP in there, you probably could maybe get a DLP on defend just to maybe be a little bit more creative in deeper areas if you wanted. That could be an option for you. But we've gone Cripper, box-to-box midfielder, Sensini, who also did various other roles in the back line, ball-winning midfielder on defend, and then Dino Baggio. No player instructions on any of them. Central midfielder on attack for Dino Baggio. And then the front two, Zola, F9, Aspria, Trequartista. Once again, no player instructions. Into the team mentality, we've gone positive. We've asked for play out of defence just because of... I was more thinking because of how the defenders... We've set them to central defenders on stopper. We've not done ball playing defenders. I don't want them to go long because we weren't great in the air. Obviously, Zola and Aspria maybe had the height, but he definitely didn't enjoy playing with his back to goal, balls in the air. So can we play through the lines a little bit? I'm hoping that with just the central defenders on defend, with the central defenders rather than the ball playing defenders role, that will play the passes a little bit shorter. Overlap left and right, that's for allow time for those wing-backs to get round. They did slow down the play a little bit and allow that positioning of the two wing-backs to get round the sides. Slightly shorter passing, so not an over directness. Remember the two strikers we've got in there. Obviously, during the time in the 90s, everything wasn't short and sharp. We've gone slightly higher tempo as well, just to make sure our possession numbers are high and control games, which is what Scala like, the manager. Time wasting sometimes. Mixed crosses, I would maybe even think about putting that on low. Okay. In transition, there was no real counter pressing. I did that in the Blackburn tactic earlier on in the week because we had Shearer and Sutton. We've got a different striking profile. I think a counter press generally starts with how well your front boys can attack. Zola, Aspria, probably not the best pressers of the ball, so that's why I've not got that on. However, there were so many counter-attacking goals. I'm thinking those little breakdowning plays, ball into Zola, the forward run of Dino Baggio, scored so many goals in Europe doing that during that season, so that's why we've got that on. Distribute to the centre-backs with the goalkeeper. Right, out of possession, we've got an interesting thing here. He liked to squeeze high, and he liked to be compact. Now, I imagine the compactness is maybe a little bit of a look at Arrigo Sacchi's 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1 and how he liked his team to be super aggressive out of possession. So we've done that, and the way we create that is by having a much higher line. I think that definitely helps with having this 3-5-2 with only two players in the attacking areas. Remember, we've got no cams, no wingers. We've just got two strikers who often drop in. So maybe getting us a little bit higher up the pitch is probably better in terms of dominating the game a little bit more. Mid-block as well to give you that compactness. More often trigger press, get stuck in, and that is it. All right, so you Patreons, the tactic is now available for you down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Smash a like before you go. See you later.